Okay, so now we're gonna open it up to public comments, and I just wanna really be clear, we're gonna go around and have one question from individuals, and we'll answer to the best of our ability. The meeting is gonna end at 10:15 today, so because we have to go into executive session. So we didn't pass out the cards. If you have questions, we will start from this side of the room and we'll work our way down. So, I'm sorry, sir, I'm looking at you, I can't remember your name.
Christopher.
Christopher, do you have a question?
The board members on the roll call, this is all the current board members?
That are listed on the roll call? Yes.
There's no additional board members?
Not at this time. We're in the process of the nominating committee.
Until Joe meeting, no longer in the board?
I said that at the beginning of the meeting. Joe, in the executive session, we already knew it was coming. Joe need resign. He stated just he's working. He works at LaSalle, and he's also a part of the CDC in that community. And I believe I don't want to put this out there because I don't remember. I think he's like board chair or board officer or something like that committee. Okay. So, question?
Yeah, I just moved to the neighborhood, and I'm trying to be like a lot more engaged actually
Okay.
in my new neighborhood.
Could you identify yourself, please?
My name's Elijah Love. I'm a resident of Walnut Lane, Germantown.
Okay.
I was living in what's called Brewery Town now.
Okay.
I have a home in North Philly on 25th Street. I was always active in the community there, and I just want to kind of continue that in my new neighborhood and new area.
Well,
And
Did you sign the sign-in sheet?
No, I just walked in because I just came straight from work here.
All right, sign the sign-in
Okay.
sheet.
And I've never heard of the GSSD. I just wanted to just get like an understanding of like how the board was created and what the function is, things like
All
that.
right, and that's going to take a while to answer, but
Just a brief summary. I don't need like the whole
Right.
history. Just
Right.
Okay,
give me an idea.
GSSD, I'm Trapita Mason, I'm the interim board chair. The GSSD is a municipal authority. It's was established, the new iteration of the GSSD 5 years ago with the 5-year plan. And the purpose of the GSSD is to clean the commercial area, cleaning, beautification, safety, and working collaboratively with other organizations. The board members are nominated, and they are, I just want to get this right in my head, they are nominated, and then the council person presents those board members in council for a vote. And then those individuals become board members. It should be, the board is comprised of community individuals, but mostly property and business owners. This board has had and does have property and business owners, but not, I would say less so right now. That's what we're aiming for with the nominating committee. I don't know if you were here at that part when Dan went over that.
No,
So
no.
there-
I just walked in maybe 15,
Okay.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This is a publicly funded board.
The board, when you say publicly funded,
Oh, with
nobody
public
on the
funds.
board is paid.
So there's
on
like
the board.
the activities
The
of the board.
activities are
Yeah.
supported by assessments that are paid by the property and business owners. The properties are assessed, I think it's 12%, and those assessments are paid. Currently, where we are, you may have been reading things here and there, but this board or this organization have experienced some issues in the last couple of months related to a number of reasons, but the primary reasons is municipal authorities are supported by assessments, and assessments collected in this area have not, they haven't been the amount that's needed to keep the operations of the organization successfully going. So I can give you my email, phone number after this meeting. Not today, because I'm supposed to be at work in 2 hours. But I'm certainly can follow up with you and answer all your questions.
make sure
Okay.
you sign the sheet.
And sign the
Yeah,
sheet.
sign
Give
and,
the sign sheet.
I will give you my email, and you can email me your questions. That's preferred. One second. I will put my email on your,
Okay.
that's Allison's card. And I'm sure you'll get a nice earful.
I think I'm very fair.
Oh, of course you are. So I'll do mine right here.
My back?
One second.
Sure.
Yes, your name and your
It's Sue
question.
Philin.
Okay.
I've lived in Germantown for 42 years. Grew up in Minneapolis, lived in Chicago, in the city. Was with Twin Realty, so we had a presence on the mall.
Thank you, sir.
And the mystery of this to me, I mean, I've appreciated this, having the service district. I've actually seen them working. I was at the gas station, holding my car, and they talked to me, I think it's an important function.
Okay.
What I don't understand, and maybe it's just, I never saw this problem when I was in my 20s in Minneapolis, that it seems to be that in this city, there's a lot of problems with some nonprofits and the whole thing of the city collecting or whatever. And I don't understand why you kept paying the people doing the cleanup, who are doing a good job, when you didn't have the money from the merchants. And so what I'm trying to find out is, what is the mechanism? Well, two things. One is for getting the merchants to pay. There probably are fines, there probably are no, I don't know, but I don't know what that is. And secondly, why didn't you stop instead of going in the hole? I mean, the city is already millions and millions and millions of dollars in the hole, although it's getting better. So my question is, what are the mechanisms for ensuring that the merchants pay? And secondly, why didn't you stop the services when you didn't have any money in your account?
Okay, I don't know if I can adequately answer your second question, except that we need to continue to clean the community. We don't have donations from community members, and often when things are in a crisis state is when people speak up. We've been having meetings, I've been on board, I guess, 2 years, and meetings consistently happen every month. The only people I've ever seen in the meeting was Andy, Allison, maybe Roger, and I'm sorry, I'm looking and joining Dennis. So we have been, I think it's a multi-pronged issue. I don't know that the board or the leadership was in a position or was maybe giving as much information as needed. I can't adequately answer your question. That would probably be a phone call.
Well,
Hold on. So, you know, we in recent months have been alerting individuals, and I think people have become concerned as of late, more so in showing up, but we've been here. The first part about your question, no, I don't mean it that way. What I'm saying is that there are many factors. The biggest, also we're looking at assessment. We're also looking at what the organization has accepted as responsibility for not being, I guess, as transparent or as accountable. We have stated that. But the first part of the question, there are mechanisms in place for municipal authorities when businesses are in arrears. And
What are those? That's what I'm curious
A
about.
property lien.
they are, the mechanisms that are in place. The first one is you send out letters, you send out late fees, and then it does ultimately go into a lien. But there is a process for that. So before you arrived on the executive director report, we did say that we're in that process right now with several of the businesses.
I mean, my issue from the beginning when we moved here was to utilize Germantown as much as I could
Right.
for my shopping. And one of the real decisions, Coleman's Library was just opening. Wow, 2 blocks from my house, a good library. And then I was here on the mall. And there were problems in the mall with people parking, including some of the owners taking over the drop-off spaces, right? And I know there's a new plan, which I've heard bits and pieces about. But the commercial district of Germantown, keeping it clean is absolutely important. So I was very appreciative of the service. But it's just, and I'm not blaming you.
No, I understand.
I'm just saying there seems to be a constant problem with nonprofits and the city, if they're depending, of just slippage. I don't know what else to call it. You know, where, I mean, if I don't have money, I can't pay my mortgage.
Right.
You should know month by month
You're right.
where you are,
Absolutely right.
you know, does that make sense?
I can tell you, you're absolutely right. And I think we're at this place where we all want to work together to figure out the best solution, to keep the avenue clean, to keep the area clean. And we welcome all inputs, support, contribution, advice. We're being very open about that.
My only other thing, my
I
husband
just
just
have
came
to
back
say-
from the hospital, so I have to go back home. But
Okay,
I think it'd be great to try to get more trash cans at bus stop locations,
yes.
all across Shelton, all the way down Wayne Avenue. I mean, I live near the 53rd block of Wayne Avenue, and the trash circulating around the bus
I
stops is
agree
horrible.
with you. I agree with you.
Empty them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you have to have the service.
Yeah, so you're right, and thank you for your comments.
Yeah, I'll stay for a little while longer than I have.
Okay.
Thank you, I'm glad
Thank
you
you,
got
I
this meeting.
appreciate it. Howard, do you have, Andy, question?
Oh, well, actually, just one question. I just wanted to get a copy of the financial report if that's possible.
Can I have one also, please?
I already copied that over.
We have two, so we have Andy and then the young lady. I can send me an email.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going around. Howard, anything? No, Allison?
I have a couple of questions. They're not,
Can you ask two of them?
they're not
And then,
long, they're not long. I
Hold on
wanted
one
to-
second. Just can you ask two, we'll go around. If we have time, I'm gonna come right back to you, okay?
I wanted to know the terms of the lease on this property.
Month to month, right now.
And I wanted to know, how has the nominating committee announced that they're looking for nominees?
Let me just think, we have done,
Well, I think for the most part, it's been by word of mouth. The nominating committee consists of enough individuals who are from Germantown, who have consistent contacts with Germantown, to reach out to what we believe would be a great mix from not just business owners, but some private residents, but also the nonprofits.
But I think we talked at the last meeting about making it a more public process and about reaching out. Has a letter or an email gone out to the business and property owners
letters
in
and
a,
emails.
in an organized manner
Yes,
to
we
all of them?
have.
And have
We
there been
have
any-
business, I just want to, the people that are on the nominating committee, just from the minutes, you can see they run the gamut.
I'm not talking about the nominating committee.
I
I'm talking about,
understand,
has
Allison.
the nominating committee sent out a letter or an email to all of the business and property owners that are assessed, stating that there is a need for board members? Would they like to volunteer to be a board member?
The nominating committee individuals have reached out to business and property owners, have gone out. We can't send letters to every single one, as a very high percentage of the business and property owners are in delinquency status, so therefore you can't be on the board. But the nominating committee, your question was how are they getting out, how are they reaching out? They are doing that, various ways. If anyone, if you've ever, kind of tried to, I'm gonna answer your question, just give me a moment. If you're trying to reach out to get a board member or someone on the board, generally is a pretty, it's a process where you can send out as much notices as you want, but you do have to go to those individuals, talk to them, give them information. There's a form letter, there's information, they can ask questions. A lot of people have questions about the time commitment, the committees. So those aren't things you can just kind of send out. I mean, and then we said at the last meeting for everybody, anybody that's here, if you know anyone who's interested, who want to be on the board, it's public, we're stating that. That we have the deadline, for now anyways, the 18th. There's a packet of information that goes out, there's an application, there's a link to the tax clearance information, there's information about the committee and the commitment.
Can I
So-
get a copy of that
Sure,
electronically? Because
Of
I was
course.
never given that information.
of course,
And who to contact and who to submit it to.
Right.
we can do that.
Thank you.
I can forward it to you, not a problem.
I look forward to getting your application.
No, I'm not applying. But I will forward it to people who may be interested in applying.
Well, you have a lot of good resources, so we would appreciate if you pass it out to folks.
So anybody that's a property owner in Germantown proper can be on the board, or does it have to be along the business corridor?
They can be nominated, they can submit an application, and then the board will vote on those nominees. And again, then, then it goes to the council person, and then it goes to the city council for a vote. But anyone that's interested and that wants to fill out an application, and can do the tax clearance form along with their application, we're happy to look at those applications.
And the commitment,
We're gonna go along.
the time
I just
commitment.
wanted to respond to his, or
Sure,
piggyback
sure.
off of his question. He asked about the corridor specifically, right?
Right.
He asked, is it anyone, or you're only opening it up to people that have businesses along the corridor? So now are you saying it's expanded to anyone in?
No.
Okay,
I'm
I
sorry.
think that
I
was,
specific.
That was the question.
that was the
Oh,
question, so I
I
was,
am sorry about that.
Okay.
No, it's, excuse me, so it's a quarter.
Okay,
Thank you for
cool.
clearing that.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
uh-huh.
Okay. Next question.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Okay,
Good.
Pamela Brazy, but I just wanted to know, as we're looking at the properties on the corridor, we have empty buildings. Have we thought of doing some of the things they've done up in Chestnut Hill where you put artwork in those windows where the grates are there? Have we thought of that? Have we looked at the second floor? Because some of the buildings you look at the second floor and it's not looking very nice.
Yeah, it's not something that we're kind of working with right now, and it's kind of in our purview right now. I do know that GUCC has, Andy's here, a grant or a program or something where there was storefront, there was a question about storefront, art and work.
Sure. Yeah, we did have a grant-funded program called the Storefront Activation Program. And the goal of that program was to partner a local artist with a business who wanted to improve the appearance of their actual window displays. So we've had a number of those projects completed, some right here on Maplewood Mall. We're still, right now we don't have funding for that program at this time, so we're not really actively soliciting applications, but we're putting in an application to PNC Charitable to get some additional funds for that for this year. The storefront improvement program is more towards the facade or the actual physical look of an actual building, and that is a program that is a city commerce department program that we work with businesses and property owners in Germantown. That's a little bit different. That is a reimbursable grant of up to 50% of the cost of a facade improvement on a building in central Germantown. So if you need more information about that, you can certainly contact Germantown United, and we'd be happy to help you with that.
So Andy, question, which one do you not have funding for right now?
The storefront activation.
Activation,
Yeah.
okay.
Improvement is a city program that's funded.
Right.
Yeah, so again, Ms. Bracy, I think it's a great idea. It's just right now the priority, GU is already working on that and doing that. And the priority for GSSD is to really focus on the cleaning of the corridor. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jerisha Parker. I'm here on behalf of State Representative Rosie Youngblood.
How are you?
I'm very good, and yourself?
Good, thank you.
Good. Two things. For this organization, what the state does, that we always have grants that are available. Has this organization submitted any grants? And if you don't know the answer right now, then we can circle back to that, because I know we haven't seen any applications as of yet.
I would love to hear more about it in terms of the state level or the level grants. To my knowledge, in recent times, no.
Okay.
What might GSSD be eligible for?
There's tons, like there's so many in like so many different categories.
Right.
But again, I can send it to you or whatever. There's a link of so many different grants that this organization can apply for. It just helps that when you do apply, to make sure our office as well as
Right.
knows, so that she can make sure that the funds are there for you to do X, Y, and Z, considering this is her district. And the other thing that I was
And I
Yes.
want to add too, that would be great to know. I mean, when I was at Historic Germantown, we really looked into all the grants. A lot of those state grants were focused on historic properties, and there were a number of them that GSSD wouldn't be eligible for, because we got some through Historic Germantown. But would be really interested.
Maybe the DCD grant, perhaps? I think that might be the best.
DC.
Yeah.
If I may just add, because we have some experience at Germantown United with DCED grants. These grants are reimbursable grants, so you have to come up with the money to do the project first. So just something to keep in mind. Certainly applying for it and exploring it is something you all should do. but just keep that in mind. We've run into that a bit as well. $1,000 expense that will be reimbursed, but
Have you been
it's,
successful with that?
what's that?
Have you all been successful?
We've been successful with at least 2 small ones. So
What amount?
we have a $10,000 one. That's about the size of the ones that we've been getting. Again, keeping in mind that we have to put the money out
Right,
first.
got you.
So we're that's what we're doing.
So
but
let's
just to-
sign up
yeah.
more, and then I'm
Yeah.
sure Andy will be open to working.
So you want me to send it to
Yeah,
you?
and I can help too, because I've done a couple of those grants in the past.
Okay, so we'll make sure that
Yeah,
that's
DCED was.
Our
DCED.
Department of Community and Economic Development.
Okay.
So I'll be in touch with, I wrote down answer for that.
Okay.
And the other thing is, the gentleman mentioned, GoNorthwest.com. Has there been a launch for that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I started almost 2 years ago with the planning.
I just started
process
working for
that.
the rep, so I'm just trying to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, no,
it actually
they
started
launched
longer
it,
than
yeah,
that,
longer
almost
than
4
that.
years ago.
No, I've never heard of it.
It was originally designed for getting the commercial corridors in Northwest Philadelphia together to lobby for additional resources to the city for commercial corridor work. And then it expanded. We eventually did get through Commerce I think it was a DCED grant. It might have been. I don't know.
It was a DCED.
It was DCED grant,
Okay.
yeah. But it's something that the corridors have been working on, and we're about to launch a marketing campaign that promotes Northwest Philadelphia as a separate, unique destination within the city of Philadelphia.
But the mere fact that you said a marketing campaign, I want our office to be involved.
Oh, sure.
Because with our funding, we do have a newsletter, so we can send it out.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying whatever you
That's-
have, information, updates for this organization is that. You can
So
send
you
it out,
guys
we
need to
can send it
exchange
out.
information.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what office are you from?
State Representative Rosita Youngblood. State Representative Rosita
Rosita
Youngblood. We
Okay, I
represent
know
you.
Rosita Youngblood. Yeah,
Okay.
I know exactly. Do you have a card?
No, but I'll make
We're
sure.
gonna,
He's not in the.
do you have a question? You
Thank you.
have a question? Dennis? David? Okay.
So, will you guys be privy to the request for proposal for the commercial corridor cleaning assistance program from the Commerce Department?
Yeah, the one that, was it the $50,000? The one
Up
that
to
just
$20,000
went
to
out?
$60,000 that's due in March. It would actually solve all of the problems that you're talking about. You guys are talking about cleaning. The solution to funding for cleaning would be the Commerce Department investing in cleaning. Furthermore, thank you for Rosita Youngblood's office, the Info Hub, East Falls Local, Tuolumne Forest. The table that you are on was brought in this office by myself. I don't want to hear this board speaking my name. The negligence was by you. The lack of information, you can look around if you'd like to.
No, I just.
The Department of Community and Economic Development, this is true. The Department of Community and Economic Development has been through to look at the corridor. We've talked about programs, we've expressed that. I've spoken to Aaliyah. She knows the conditions that this organization was in. At some point, the house of cards falls, though. It doesn't work that you guys continue to operate in here as if you don't know what the problem is. The problem is a lack of investment. It's not the business owners or the property owners' fault. You guys didn't build relationships with the business owners and property owners. You're still not.
Right on.
There are Korean business owners that don't know that you exist. They don't know the conditions of the things right now. The gentleman mentioned more trash cans. Kindly, did we not mention that more trash cans needed to be in the commercial corridor? Was the first thing that I said when I moved to this organization that we needed to remove RWA and instate the very thing that you're doing right now with Keith?
David, do you have a question?
No. Wait a second. Wait a second.
No, I want
I'm
to
finishing what
answer
I'm
the
saying.
question.
What I'm saying, because you guys brought me into this. I heard my name. People are calling me out. I didn't. No. The video exists. I set the house up. I set it up. These people are here because I asked them to be here. I set it up so that we can have full transparency in this foolishness.
Okay.
So now,
David.
from this moment, no, because the
David,
question is still
we
about
need a
the
question.
resources that exist. The question is about the resources that exist from the Commerce Department, right? In order for commercial corridors to be clean. That's what we're talking about. So if you're not applying to that RFP, then you're not doing your job.
Thank
And the beauty of Allison and people like this that you allow to come in and speak whatever they want, I love it. Thank you for the inspiration, Allison, because I wouldn't have come here if you hadn't come here and said whatever you wanted, and then they allow it. But I'm coming here speaking the actual truth from the experience, and I'm telling you that we can do better. Because as a business owner down the block, I'd like to see it clean too. I'd like to see more trash cans. I'd like to see youth involved in the process. We've talked about these things together, though.
David, you're right, thank you. In reference to the Commerce Department, we are meeting with them, we are in consistent conversation with them. We are aware of the grant, they are supportive. They are supportive about the need to clean up Germantown. And so thank you for bringing that up, we are aware, I'm very aware of that grant, and I've been meeting with, talking to, as well as Councilwoman, also with the Commerce Department. It is an active conversation. There are a lot of responsible parties. And we're all on the same page, wanting to move forward. Allison, I can't take your question.
How long has this grant been in existence?
Let's go around the room. Questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right, thank you.
No. Yes.
Okay,
With
all
this
right.
or Germantown. No question.
Okay, thank you. All right, hold on, coming back. All right. Okay, we have two more questions. I want to go to someone who hasn't asked yet, so you can ask and then Allison will ask. Just one.
I have two questions. One is, since we're charged by a municipality,
Or say what now?
since we are charged by a municipality, in some respects, in that we are, our declaration is done as a result of our government. We exist as a result of our government. Are we also then charged with making sure that each contractor that works for us gets paid at least, every employee gets paid at least $15 an hour? That's my first question, and I have one other question once that question's answered.
Okay, when you say each contractor that works for us.
Anybody that gets paid by the GSSD to work for the GSSD, are they paying their employees at least $15 an hour? Because that's my understanding of what our government is making sure that each of the contractors that works for our government, their employees are being paid at least $15 an hour.
Okay, that's not a question I can answer right now. We're not actively engaging the contractor. We have their friends in Northwest Germantown on a volunteer basis through donations. So, to help with the cleaning. So I can't answer that question. If you can go into your next question. I don't have an answer for you.
So could I expect an answer by the next meeting? Because I want to make sure we're following the letter of the law.
I will do my
And the people are
best.
being
I know that
paid
Governor
appropriately.
Wolf just issued a possible bill. It doesn't say $15. It ramps up to $15 in 2025. It is actually $12. But again, we're not dealing with the contractors right now. By the next meeting, if I have an answer, I will certainly answer that.
Okay,
Can I get your next question?
Yeah, the next question is, so last year I think we spent $27,000 throwing parties in Vernon Park. And I'm hoping that we're coming up on spring, coming up on summer. I'm hoping that we don't see that kind of expenditure as helping the business district.
The hope is that the CDC will pick up some of those responsibilities and making sure that the community has things to do in the summer. That would be nice if the CDC did that type of thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think
The priority
You heard what I
right
said,
now
right?
for the GSSD is cleaning the quarter, okay?
and advocating on the part of businesses in the corridor, correct?
Of course,
They shouldn't have to
of
do
course.
that.
Allison, your
I
question?
would like to know, since you said that it's the city services need to do their part.
No, I said it.
The
The
emptying of the
services are
trash can-
supplemented, the municipal.
Right, and you said that the
You want
trash,
me to clarify what I'm saying? The municipal authority provides services that should be supplemented, that the supplement to what the city is also doing.
and that's what
That's what I
I'm saying.
stated.
If,
Go ahead.
if you are depending on the city for some basic services that you are supplementing and you are not getting those services, is someone, namely the executive director, in contact with those city services that he feels we are not getting to get those services?
Yes, he is.
And what has the city's response been?
It's been positive.
And have they been doing a better job.
I can't give you a detail on that right now. Jamar, I can have him speak on that at the next meeting, but he is in touch and it has been a positive response.
Because I know that there's graffiti on the avenue, and normally if you put it into 311, usually within 24 hours it's gone, and I haven't seen that to be the case on Shelton Avenue.
I think it's really good to keep calling. When I've seen graffiti, there are two things that you're supposed to do. You call 311, even as GSSD, as a private citizen. You're also supposed to alert the local police office so that they're aware. That's a practice that we do. So if you find that you're doing that and it's not removed, then you can let Jamar or us or anybody know, and then we can keep calling.
I want to know that the GSSD is doing a proactive approach to the business corridor to help the merchants and to help the businesses and to help the community. Because the executive director is hopefully patrolling the corridor to see conditions and to report conditions, such as the bricks that are all up on the, I pulled one out of the sidewalk walking in here so no one tripped. It was protruding from the ground, and those bricks have been just scattered here and there and everywhere. If it's the city's responsibility to remove them or to fix or correct the situation, that situation needs to be remedied. And I've reported it numerous times, and I've reported it to the GSSD numerous times.
And what we can do is report it as well. There is something with these bricks in Germantown, they've been happening for months now. That's something that I, as a private citizen, have been reporting. If you notice that Armat and Germantown Avenue, the ones that went around, I don't know what you call that, the circular things, they've all been stripped and they've come off. So these are things that we have reported, and I certainly can touch base with Jamar to make sure in his communication with city entities that he's reporting this as well.
Not only reporting, but
CDC can also do that.
Everybody.
Right.
We'll take, that was our last.
But not only reporting, following through to make sure things get done.
That is regular, normal expectation that we will be doing.
I have just one question, this is a brief one. Is there a body like this that deals with like residential corridors? When I first moved here, there was a big problem with sanitation not picking up trash for weeks at a time. I actually contacted Councilperson Cindy Bass's office a number of occasions. It took me about 1.5 years to get sanitation to come and pick our trash up every week like they were supposed to. Then there was also an issue of a blighted, well, not a blighted property, a triplex where, you know, the tenants and the landlord weren't really taking care of the property, weren't putting the trash out, etc. I'm just wondering if there's a body that kind of oversees residential areas the same way this body oversees commercial corridors. Is there somewhere you can direct me to?
You're in West Central Germantown Neighbors.
West Central Germantown Neighbors?
Right. If you email me, I'll give you their contact info.
You got it.
Yeah, so she answered community organizations, but definitely 311.
Oh yeah, I called 311 too. They came out and told me, we didn't see any trash. And they don't come out for 20 days. 20 days you gotta sit there with 8 bags of trash, you know, raccoons, possum, whatever. You know what I mean? And like I said, it took me 1.5 years. And it actually took me coming to blows with my neighbor for me to take the trash out. When it could have been remedied with a governing body. You know what I mean? It just, you know, and not everybody is physically capable of handling their neighbors.
That's
you know what I'm
true.
saying?
Well, as Allison said, a good resource is your neighborhood organization, and in addition to contacting 311, and also contacting your local council or rep office is good as well.
Do you have a block
just,
captain?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a block captain?
We had a block captain, then he moved to Georgia. I was actually in the councilperson's office. We had an issue with just the trash not being picked up 2 weeks ago. No, last week. It was last week. The triplex that was having a hard time getting their trash out, they finally started putting their trash on the curb and they didn't pick it up. And they're being very like technical about, well, you know, it got to be in this type of container and da-da-da-da. You know, and sometimes, you know, like folks are just. So,
yeah, I would suggest contact with Allison, and then, but yeah, so that It's the same thing, community organization, block captain, 311.
Landlord.
Yeah.
Yeah, contact the
And she can give you
landlord, yeah.
information.
You contact the
So
landlord.
that was the last question that we took. I just want to thank everyone for coming.
Thanks a
Just
lot.
thank you for coming to the meeting. If you need to follow up with any one of us, Jamar's, it's J. Kelly at Germantown SSD .org. And I have an email also.